Hi, good evening, everybody. My name's Joe Haigh. Welcome to Spiritual TV, Spiritual Psychic TV. I'm your medium this evening for the next hour or so. Just to introduce myself, I'm Joe, Medium Joe. I am from the Grimsby area. Just a little bit about myself. I've been doing this work now for about 17 years, okay? So since I was about 19 years old. You can find me on Facebook. I also have a Medium page called Medium Joe. So this evening, we're going to get into some readings. I'm going to go through some, hopefully, be able to demonstrate that continuing survival after death. Before we get into that, it's my role this evening to, demonstrate and prove that I'm able to make that connection. So when we do that, it's okay for me to be wrong, test me, but also I need that connection from you, that upliftment and that energy, okay? So I'm new to the show, so let's get into it and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So we've got hello to Kerry Aaron this evening. We've also got some other people popping up as well. To Marianne on YouTube. To Jennifer Clark as well. Hello, good evening. To Stacey Ann as well. Hello. And to Steph Ayres as well. Good evening, sweet. And to Hazel Harrison as well. Good evening. And to Cheryl as well. Good evening. And to Alison as well. Alison Barton, the area of the country I live, just outside of Grimsby, Barton on Humber. And then to June Malcolm as well. Hello, good evening, sweet. And to AW as well. Good evening. Okay, and then we've got Terry Wall as well. Oh, perfect. And Michaela Hannah as well. Good evening. And to Christine as well, Christine Davis. And to Michelle Joy at Hull, hello. And to Tony Wright as well, good evening, blessings. And to Gail Amos, good evening. And to Eric as well, hello. Thank you for joining, sir. And Chrissy, hello. And to Rachel Meyer as well. And to Millie Meggie, oh, what a beautiful name. Hi, Millie. And to Mary as well. Hi, good evening. And to Diana Dolan. And to Becca as well. Becca Shadlow, good evening. And to Cheryl as well. Hi, Cheryl, good evening. Okay, yeah, I think we'll start if that's okay. So guys, just to explain, when we do this, I'm going to try and go directly to people, okay? So when we do that, try and keep your answer yes, no, you don't know. It's okay for me to be wrong. I'll try and make that connection through. So if you want to pop some comments on it, we'll see who we're drawn to first, okay? Thank you, sir. If you hear me talking to someone, that's Richard in the background, by the way. He's the producer. Okay, so we'll go to Margaret Thompson first, if that's okay, please, Richard. Okay, Margaret, good evening, sweet. I've got this gentleman I've got two gentlemen that are connecting with me, okay? I've got this individual that's stepping around you as a father figure that wants to be acknowledged, and I've also got this younger male energy that's making a connection with me as well. We'll talk about him in one moment, but sweet, would you understand that there's a father figure in spirit for us, please? Because I want me to reference that connection with a father figure that has passed over to the spirit world, okay? He talks about this connection with the family around him as well, and he talks about that love and that contentment that he got from that family connection, okay? He talks to me about flowers as well, and he tells me they're really important. So sweet, either someone's placed flowers down in memory of this individual recently, or they've planted a flower in memory of this person, because that's how he comes through in my mind. He tells me he can breathe properly again as well, and this is a really important connection that he wants to make with you, okay? So he tells me that he knows that you're trying to be strong for the family, and he wants me to make that reference and connection to that as well, okay? That's fine, sir. Okay, he gives me a sensation of not having the opportunity to say goodbye to people as well. So he tells me just before he's passing, he wasn't able to make that connection, and he wants people to know that he's safe, he is well, okay? Sweet, he also says to me as well that there's reference to doves that would be symbolic for him as well, because he wants me to make that reference and that connection to that as well. He also talks to me about an individual who would have worked in their shed, and I don't know if it doesn't feel like woodwork, but it feels like small machinery. So he makes that reference in connection with that statement as well. So that's either an individual that's still here, or that's something that he would have enjoyed doing as well. Okay, that's fine. He also says to me that he's got grandmother on mum's side of the family as well. Now, he also references with me that not only is your name Margaret, but there must be another Margaret that is in the family, and I suspect that is in spirit. That's fine, sir. He also says to me that I think it's either the 12th or the 13th of June would be a significant date, because he would want me to make that reference to that date as well. That's fine. Now, Margaret, I just want to open this up a little bit, and I want to just talk about this other male that stood with me. Now, I don't believe this to be a direct connection to yourself, so I don't think this is a son or a brother, but there's this younger male that passed tragically that they want me to reference. So when I say younger, he's no older than perhaps 20 or 25, and he tells me that he was here one moment and gone the next. Now, I wonder if that's either a connection via cousins or that's a friend's son, but there would be this reference to this younger male that has passed in the last couple of years as well that they'd want me to talk about. So would you understand that as well, please, sweet? Okay, so you'd understand the Aunt Margaret as well. That's perfect. Okay, I want to talk about the females on mum's side of the family, because there's a number of females in spirit, and I laugh because they're characters. Okay, so certainly your grandmother on mum's side of the family, such a strong lady. Okay, and there's also this auntie figure that would be in spirit as well. That's such a strong character as well. Okay, and they're saying to me that we need to stiff up a chin and that we need to continue. Okay, so they're recognizing about where we're at within ourselves, our emotional state, and trying to give us that upliftment and that healing. Okay, bless her, thank you. So you can confirm that 19th. And it was, I wanted to mention those other ladies, but it was those two males that I wanted to make a connection with straight away. They just felt so strong. They both stood together, and I need you to know that they are safe and they are well. So Margaret, I'm going to leave their love with you, and I'm just going to say God bless and just thank you for that. So Richard, if we can just bring some more comments up, please. Okay, perfect. So we'll just wait for them to come up. But guys, if you pop some comments on, if I feel drawn to your name, you know, I will try and make that connection with you, okay? And it's also important as well, you don't tell me who you want to make that connection with, because it's about it being evidential, okay? And I'd rather be honest and wrong rather than having information given to me. So try not put things in the comments, guys, okay? I'd really, really appreciate it. Let's see who's coming up. So we've got a number of people that are stepping forward. Okay, so we're going to go to Lisa Wilkinson next, if we may, please. So I think that's Lisa on YouTube, so just bear with me. Lisa, we're going to talk about this connection on mum's side of the family. So we're going to bring through this grandmother figure for you, okay? She's tapping me on the shoulder, she's speaking to me. So she's quite a direct lady, she's making that connection with you. She talks about the person that's got the problems with their back at the moment, and it's a really bad lower back pain that she wants me to acknowledge. So she's giving quite strong healing for that. And she says to me she knows about the younger individual that's going through the job change or is frustrated with their job at the moment, because she tells me she sees that situation going on, and she just says it's okay to be patient. So she talks about a positive outcome for that, okay? Lisa, I also have this male that's stepping forward on dad's side of the family that wants to make a connection. This isn't grandfather, I don't believe it to be dad, but would you understand that we've got an uncle figure that would be in spirit on dad's side, please, because they tell me to make this reference to this other male that's stepping around you, okay? They give me the name John, and they tell me that name is important, okay, because they tell me to reference that name being significant. Now, I don't know if that's here or in spirit, but they want me to acknowledge that name being important. They are also laughing as they're talking to me about a situation with the car where someone keeps stalling it, or they keep sort of being on it, or there's an issue with the clutch, because they don't laugh in a negative sense, in a very jovial sense, that they just know about that sense of frustration around us as well, okay? That's absolutely fine. And Lisa, they always, in this context, and because of COVID, they're thanking someone for being a frontline worker as well. So someone's either a carer or someone's undertaking a role in an NHS function, because they want me to make that reference and connection there. Okay. Lisa, I also want to talk about the name Tom as well. They tell me that Tom is important. That goes back on dad's side of the family. Okay, so I don't think that's here. I think that's in spirit, but they want me to talk about that name. We can talk about that, guys. Okay, Lisa, someone just said to me in my ear, they said, this lady can do this work, this lady can do this work. So there's something about you having an ability to be able to connect, or a reference to having some level of intuition that we're well aware of and we're able to draw on, because they talked to me about that being a significant factor around you as well. That's fine. Okay. They also talked to me about mum. So mum's living. They talked to me about mum being quite a stoic and quite a strong character as well. And I can't think of another word, so I will use this word, but not in a derogatory sense. They talked to me about her being quite stubborn and quite sort of strong-minded and doing things her way as well, because they want me to acknowledge that with her as well. And they just keep saying to me, she's strong, she's strong. Okay, that's absolutely fantastic. Lisa, they're telling me that I need to talk about another lady, so just bear with me one moment. Lisa, I get the sense that there's this other lady that's coming to stand next to you. So when they stand next to me, that tends to be either brother, sister, cousin, friend, partner. This lady feels like a friend connection, but she feels slightly older. I don't think it's sister-in-law. I think it's a female that would be a friend connection to us. And I know she had an illness that took her over. So it isn't an accident. It isn't something unexpected. This lady was ill for a period of time. And all I can feel is my body getting tighter, my chest getting tighter. So I don't think that's cancerous. I think that's some other condition that took her over a period of time. She is certainly older than us. So I don't know if she's a connection to as mum's friend, but you would know her, that's fine. Or she's a connection directly with you, okay? But she wants to be acknowledged. Someone's saying to me about the name Nellie as well. So I don't think that's her name. I think that name's someone in spirit on mum's side going back. But they want me to reference this lady as well, this friend connection. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Okay. Lisa, they also talked to me about this ability to be able to sense spirit lights around us, or we have had that phenomenon around us in the family home, because they talked to me about that connection there. And they say to me as well, can we ask about the car? So someone's planning to get a new car, whether it's to do with that clutch, or someone's just bought a new car because they would want me to make that acknowledgement and that reference there. So Lisa, lots of love coming through for you, okay? Predominantly from this old lady on mum's side of the family. I'm just conscious that I've not really given you a direct message to her. We spoke about what's going on around you. And I think it's to say to you to continue with your development, okay? So whether that be that we've stuttered and we're doubting ourselves, or we've not been able to because we've had other priorities, but she's saying that consistency and that skill is really, really important. And she says, you can do this, you can do this. Stop doubting yourself, stop doubting yourself, okay? So she's bringing all these things around you. And she says, will you tell her I've got the cat? So that's quite a generalized statement, but I wonder if that's someone that's lost a cat recently in the last few months or so, because she's saying she's got this cat with her, okay? She just blows kisses to you as she's leaving. So Lisa, I'm going to leave her love with you, if that's all right, sweetie. And I'm just going to say God bless. And Richard, please, if we can get some more comments up. And guys, if you can pop some comments on, and please, do not, if you can try and refrain from telling me who you want to make a connection within the comments, because I'd rather make that connection with you directly, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Phil Shaw watching this evening. Good evening, sir. Lovely to see you watching. Okay. And we've got some first-time watchers as well. So Mandy Cole, thank you. Let's see who we can make a connection with as we're moving forward. Okay, we'll go to Wayne, if that's okay, with the lorry picture on his on the front there, if that's all right, Richard. Perfect. Okay. Wayne, as we're making that connection with you, sir, you'll have to apologise for me smiling. It's just the nature of the individuals that are coming through this evening. Okay. Cool. I've got this male that's stepping around you. That's kind of just making me want to feel a bit like almost puff my shoulders out a little bit. So he's talking about being broad shoulders. He's stepping around on dad's side of the family. Now, I know this isn't your grandfather, and at the moment, and apologies, I don't know if this is a father figure or an uncle figure, but I've got this sense in my chest that I've got this pain here. So they're talking to me about this reference for this heart attack that would take us over, or these heart issues that would take us over, okay? So So would you understand it? I think it's either a father or an uncle figure that they want me to reference with you. That would be spirit side. Can you just confirm that, please? I also just want to acknowledge your grandmother on dad's side of the family, okay? She tells me she's quite small in stature, but again, she's quite a sort of strong-minded, and feisty is perhaps a good word to describe her. Excuse me. So they want me to acknowledge this lady, this older lady on dad's side of the family as well. They take me to February and they talk to me about this being important for anniversaries or birthdays, and they want me to make that connection. Okay, that's fine. So that's that. Thank you, sir. The thing is about this gentleman, just about, there's something like the 7th or 17th or 27th of February that they're trying to reference with me. Okay, so they're telling me that's important. I don't think that's an anniversary. I think that's a birthday that they would want me to reference. The thing is about dad, he comes through really proud, but he kind of comes through like strong as well. So there's this sense about this pride and the strength that comes through in the family that's certainly passed down to you as well. Okay, one of the things that he says to me is he feels like there's been tension around us recently in the family dynamics, and he acknowledges that because he's picking up on your thoughts. Okay, and he's just saying to me, things will get sorted, things will get sorted, it just takes a little bit of time. Okay, he also says to me as well that you would understand that we've had odd things happen in our house. So not necessarily connecting with spiritual stuff, but paranormal in sense he would reference. So there's been odd things that have happened periodically before that he'd want me to talk about. Okay, that's fine. Wait, there's this reference as well, sending up almost symbolically asking me to toast your dad as well. So he wants me to acknowledge that people have done that for him as well. He's not swearing, that's wrong. He's language is perhaps slightly different as he connects with me, and he's saying to me, well, I didn't kind of believe this before I went over. So he wants to, he's talking about those differences. Okay, he says he tries to put songs on and play them around you as well. So he tells me this is important. So I didn't quite catch the song. I wonder if it's like Bruce Springsteen or some connection like that, but there's certainly these songs that he would want me to reference that he's been trying to play around you as well. Okay, I'm asking the question, is that here or in spirit, sir? That's here. So he wants me to acknowledge this connection to this name, George, being important as well. Now, I don't think that's his name, and I think that's, for me, the way that sounds youthful in nature. So I wonder if that's someone that's here, that's either a child or a brother connection, but they would want me to make that reference there. Okay. And he said a lot. He did swear. He also, I think, he probably liked to drink as well. Not to an extent that would be, inappropriate. But he's just a typical bloke, just a typical Jack the lad. Just very much what you see is what you get with him. Everything's a matter of fact. He's got an opinion on things, and that is his view. But nothing's malice with him. Okay, he's regretful and kind of reflects and says, I kind of just wish I looked after myself a little bit better as well. So he acknowledges that as well. Okay. The other reference I want to make to you as well is he talks to me about tattoos down the arm. So I don't know if that's you that's got tattoos down the arm or he had them. My query is with that is that they look slightly newer in nature. So he talks about all these tattoos down the arms here, but he acknowledges that. And he also says to me as well, he says to me, we tell them we've got the baby boy. Tell them we've got the baby boy. The baby boy is safe. The baby boy is safe. So I don't think that's necessarily a direct connection to you. I think that's either with a sibling or that's with a partner or a nephew or a cousin. But there's something about someone losing this baby boy because they want me to acknowledge that reference with you. Wayne, the other thing that he says to me as he's talking to me is that he knows about where our mindset is, and he knows about our emotional well-being as well. And he says to me that, you've mentioned there that today tougher than the song. He talks to me about days in general being tough for you, and he talks about having to get through them. So he gives me that strength. He tells you that he's guiding you, and he tells me that he's with you constantly. Okay. He laughs because someone's randomly been not for anything untoward, but he says someone's jokingly been annoyed because I've been pulled over by the police, and it's either for a check that's random but he just, again, the reason why he would say this is to talk about being around you, and he talks about being around the family as well. Okay, when there's a few things that I could probably go on with that, but it's maybe more to do with your sister than directly with you, but he's certainly around you guys. He talks about Dave, and he just said talk about Dave, and he kind of bangs his chest. So I don't know who Dave is for him, but he wants me to reference that as well. He says to me that you carry the weight of the world on your shoulders around your family, and he says that that's part of that is about feeling like we have an onus and responsibility to others in our family. And he says that's okay, but we also deserve a break ourselves. He talks to me about working long hours as well, so whether that be you or him, but I'm almost working like 60-hour weeks, like, you know, really intense sort of times. So he's bringing that connection there with you as well. Okay, wait. I'm going to leave their love with you, if that's okay. And I'm just going to say God bless you and thank you for allowing me to connect with you. And Richard, if we can please just bring some more comments up, sir. That's perfect. Okay, that's absolutely fine. That's perfect. I think, can we go to Sally Worker, please, if that's okay? Okay. Hi. Good evening. Hope you're all right, Sally. Can we make a connection with yourself directly, please? And can we just make reference to, firstly, a father figure being in spirit for us, because they want me to talk about this father figure. There's certainly quite a strong smell of cigarette smoke around as well. So that is something that I would ask you for to watch in the context of spirit making a connection with you. But we'll start by understanding that as a father figure in spirit for us, please. Okay. They also say to me as well that they want to thank you for looking after an older female in the family as well. So whether that be a sister or a mother figure. And they talk to me about this connection of checking in on a lady and helping this lady connection. It's either a sister or a mum connection with us, okay? And I don't know whether that's now or previous, but they want me to make that acknowledgement there, okay? Your dad, bless him, he says to me, will you tell her that I've been trying to get these feathers to her? Okay, so he wants me to acknowledge that connection there with you. And he references as well, I don't think it's lilies as the flowers. I think it's Lily as a name that would be important back in spirit, because he wants me to talk about that reference there as well, okay? That's fine, sir. So your dad just said to me I was a bit stubborn, you know, when I was here. So your dad, bless him, is such a character as we're connecting with him. And he's saying to me as well that he's scratching his head and he's saying to me, I'm trying to work out how to do this. So he's trying to work out how to communicate and talk to me, okay? He says to me he likes the picture that we've got of mum on the side as well. So something about this picture that we've got, I don't think it's on the wall, but it's almost on a side unit. And for me, that's the reference that mum would be in spirit. So I don't feel mum about at this moment, but we will try and make that connection with her, okay? So he's talking to me about that reference as well. Perfect, you understand the name Lily, that's absolutely fine, sweet. So that would be his acknowledgement. That's fine. Oh, let me take a breather, sir. That would be acknowledgement of your daughter. He just said Jack John. So quite a common thing, I don't think as much now, but I don't know if someone was called John and they were referred to as Jack, or the other way around, but he would want me to acknowledge that as well. Okay, so can you just clarify for me whether or not it was mum or your grandmother that would have had the walking stick for a period of time? Because I feel like I'm almost a little bit bent over and I'm kind of struggling to walk a little bit, and my eyesight feels a little bit poor as well. So I'm not sure if this is your mum that's stepping in, or they want me to acknowledge. That's fine, sweet, I'll jot that down. Sorry, she's talking to me about names. I don't know if that's mum or that acknowledgement of your grandmother, but they're wanting me to talk about that connection there. Okay, and sweet, I need you to watch for this smell of smoke around you. I need you to watch this smell of cigarette smoke or pipe smoke, because this is a reference and sort of evidence from dad trying to come through and make that connection with you. The other thing that dad is saying to me as he's talking to me is he's playing to me, as he's talking to me, he's playing to me Frank Sinatra. So whether that's an acknowledgement of music that he liked or something that mum connected to, but he's playing those songs as he's talking to me, okay? Oh, perfect. So you can understand the Jack John thing. Interesting, because it just came in, it's like Jack John. So quite an interesting way to try and get that into my mind, okay? Okay, your mum's stepping forward a little bit as she's connecting with me, okay? And actually, I wonder if that older lady was grandmother rather than mum, okay? Mum, bless her, she just takes my hand and she says, will you say thank you? Will you say thank you? I wasn't always the most grateful, but will you say thank you, okay? And when I say she wasn't almost the most grateful as she could have been. That's, I think, because of her illness and how much she was struggling. Okay, so she's just saying to me, will you tell her I've got my mind, tell her I've got my sense of direction, and tell her I'm fine. Okay, and she talks to me about the Mary connection as well, so she uses that significantly. That, in fact, I want to just talk about the last name Well. There's something about, I don't think it's Well-Ome, I think it's Well. So I don't know if there's a Mary Well or there's a Mary and the Well is different, but they would want me to talk about that name as well. Okay, they know about the person putting the house up for sale as well. So I don't think this is you. I think this is someone else in the family. So this is a younger male that they want me to talk about. Is debating, certainly putting his house up for sale now and moving on. So again, the reason why she would say this to me is because she would want to reference being around the family and making that connection with us. She spoke to me about the name. She said, Debbie, can we talk about Debbie? So I don't know who Debbie is. For me, that feels like a name that's probably still living and is a connection here rather than in spirit, but they want me to acknowledge that name as well. Okay. And your mum says to me as well, will you say to her that I hear her every night when she says good night to me? And I'm not sure I can ask you, just bear with me. She's talking about sleeping with something under our pillow. So we'll break this down. I don't think this relates to mum or dad. I think this relates to someone else. So just bear with me. Okay. Sally, would you understand sleeping with something that was silver or metallical under our pillow after someone passed close to us in the family, please? Because they want me to talk about this acknowledgement of having this connection with someone that passed over. And for me, this feels like a younger energy, and we're going back a number of years because they want me to talk about, it feels like this, is it crystals? So sweet, would you understand this connection with them being significant for someone in spirit? Because it feels like it's a connection to someone that's passed away, and it feels like it's a male that we would want to make that recognition of or acknowledgement of. Or we started on this journey of trying to understand this work as a result of losing someone a number of years ago, because it feels like it goes further back in time. That's fine. Okay, and mum, bless her, she just said to me, will you tell her that she needs to start spending money on herself? She needs to start looking after herself. She always focuses on everyone else. Why is she not looking after herself? She says to me that you'll work yourself on the ground to help everyone else, but you won't take a break for you. She also says to me that she's giving you healing for your feet as well. Now, at first, I thought that was symbolic in nature, in the sense that she was referencing how hard you work. But I wonder if you actually have got swollen feet. Okay, so see that's some past connection. That is the reference that they're wanting to make with that. We'll come back to that in one moment. So she talks about giving you healing for your feet. So there's either swelling or there's ongoing issues there that she wants me to talk about. So you'd understand that connection that you passed on 2 years ago. Thank you ever so much for it. I really appreciate you confirming that, and I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so that's your mum's way of telling me that he is safe with her. Okay, she says that he's mischievous as well, so she laughs and smiles with that, and she says he keeps her on her toes as well. That's the other thing. So there's certainly that energy around. I do know that we've come across something of his recently. So what I would say is that we've perhaps gone into a cupboard and found, not necessarily a picture, but found something that may belong to him or has prompted us to think about him recently, unexpectedly. Okay. And she says he still picks up on your thoughts every single day. So every time you send a thought out to let him know that you miss him, she sends out that thought and that connection he picks up on that thought and that connection that you send out for him. Okay. That's fine. So there feels like there's been a number of sort of passings around you that are either a similar time of year or in a very short period of time, because mum just says it's been a lot to take on and there's been a lot of grieving take place. And she says to me she cannot be prouder of you, and she cannot emphasize enough how strong you are. Okay, she says to me that you need to take your tablets as well. So whether or not we've stopped taking these tablets or we're just starting them, but she says that we need to take them as well. Okay, so she's almost telling you off a little bit as she says that. She's kind of saying she needs to look after herself. So all this message is not only about that connection with those that have passed, thank you, sweet, but it's about recognizing that you deserve some time for you. You deserve to put your feet up, chill out, and not worry about everyone else. Okay, everyone can look after themselves. It's okay to have a rest as well. Sally, your mum just whispered to me. She said, I'm never too far away. And with that, she's just stepped back. So I'm going to leave her love with you. And I'm just going to say, God bless and thank you. Okay, Richard, can we just bring some more comments up if that's okay? And Sally, just whilst we're waiting for some more comments, there's an Australia connection there that would be important going back on Dad's side, I imagine. So we'll just wait for those further comments up. So guys, whilst we're waiting for them to pop up, I have a Facebook page, it's Medium Joe, it's all one word, it's got the wonderful Humber Bridge in the background. You can contact me on Facebook. Something due prior to lockdown, I spent 3 years raising £10,000 with charity. So yeah, a lot of this work we do for different charities as well, and do a lot of it with the Lions as well. So if anyone's Lions members as well. Okay, let's see who we can make a connection with next. Okay. No, that's absolutely fine. I think we'll go to Julie Caswell if that's okay, sir. Julie, oh, right, okay. I wanted to talk to you about what I thought maybe parents and things, but we're going to come back to them in one moment. Just bear with me, sweet. Okay, Julie, I've got a male that's coming to stand next to you, and if it's either for yourself or if anyone else didn't hear earlier, when someone comes and stands next to me, that tends to be contemporary, that tends to be brother, sister, cousin, friend, partner. I've got a male that's coming to stand next to you. Don't think it's brother. I wonder if it's a partner connection or a brother-in-law connection. So would you understand that, Julie? Because the referencing about this male that has come and stood next to you, okay? It feels more like a reference to someone's partner rather than brother. It may well be brother, but the way he stood, it just makes me think it would be more of that style of connection. Interestingly, he flickers a little bit in my mind, which is a prompt to get me to think about either in-laws, so either one of our friends has lost their husband recently, or we've got a sister that's lost a husband figure, or we've got a husband figure that's in spirit. It has to be that sort of connection. And I know that he was ill for a short period before he passed as well, because he's talking about struggling to feel. So you wouldn't understand that, sweet. That's fine. We're going to just keep working with this if that's all right. And we like these ones. He tells me his name. He tells me the name Darren is important to him. So he wants me to acknowledge that name. Do not think that's his name. He also wants me to acknowledge the name Paul as well. And there's something about issues with his stomach as well. There's something problems with his stomach as well. So I can't think of something else. Perhaps ulcers or some connection there, because he would want me to make that reference to that as well. So sweet, that information, that Paul, that Darren connection. I wonder if Paul is more pertinent to his name, and the Darren is someone that's here. And that stomach issue would have to be a reference there. He feels quite a strong character in this sense that that's fine. So he just feels really, really busy, and he kind of feels really direct and sort of really forward as he's making a connection. So sweet, I can still see that no on there. So just bear with me. If you can let me know if any of that would make sense. I don't think it's direct, because that flicker would get me to think that it connects to a friend's husband or a sister's husband or this in-law connection. It doesn't feel like a brother connection. Okay, so Julie, as I'm smiling and laughing, and apologies, I want to just reference this lady that's stepping on mum's side. So we'll start to work on mum's side of the family. We're going to bring in this auntie figure on mum's side. So sweet, would you understand this connection with an auntie figure on mum's side? Because they wanted me to make that reference, okay? Oh, so you know a Darren in spirit, the same age as me. Perfect, sweet. I've got that slightly wrong then with that, how he connects with you. I thought the way, and the reason for that, just to explain, is he stood there he just kept pointing to his ring finger, which for me is to get me to think of marriage. So I apologize. I thought it was that flicker thing is always an interesting reference there, because it's not direct family for me. So he wants acknowledging that. Perfect. We'll acknowledge him. So would you understand this auntie figure that's in spirit on mum's side of the family, please? Because I want to start with that lady there. Okay, perfect. They also say to me as well that there would be this mother figure for us in spirit as well. So would you understand that mum's in spirit for us as well, please, Julie? That's fine. They tell me the females on your mum's side of the family are quite strong, because I feels like all these female energies around us, not necessarily in spirit, but also here in the family. So there's lots of these spirit energies around us. And there's also an uncle figure in spirit as well that they would want me to acknowledge as well. Feels more dad's side of the family, but certainly as we start to build this picture around you, there's a number of different energies that are stepping forward. Okay, perfect. Okay, so Julie, we're going to continue. We're going to just start to bring in grandfather on dad's side of the family, grandmother on dad's side of the family as well. They're saying to me that number 4 is important. So for me, that's 4 siblings, or that's 4 brothers or sisters. That would be important on dad's side of the family as well. And there's also this sense that there would be a father figure for us as well, Julie. So can we just check that we've got aunt in spirit on mum's side, mum in spirit. We've also got father figure in spirit on dad's side and uncle in spirit on dad's side as well. Okay, so would you understand that, please, sweet? That's fine. And they're also talking to me about this connection with these old like tea. Perfect. So you understand that. So, and also this reference to these teapots or these tea ornaments that would be passed down in the family as well, because it's talking to me about how important they are. There's this sense of this sentimental value. So I wonder if we found them recently or they're out on the side, but they'd want me to talk about that as well. Also, as well, I think mum's been quite playful, and I don't know if it's at my house or your house. She kind of just run her finger across the top of something and did that. Someone's got a very clean lady as well, okay? So she just talked about this pride and sense within her home as well. Also, as well, as we're making that's fine. Forgive me, I don't know if it was Wilbert or Gilbert. That just a name that popped into my head, I assume, on dad's side of the family. But Julie, one of the things that they keep doing in my mind is to keep with this almost this plane, and it's almost like I'm cutting wood as I'm talking to you. So for me, that's on dad's side of the family, this male figure, either the dad or uncle that would have made furniture or worked with wood, because I'm planing this wood as I keep talking to you, okay? That's fine. And so you just put 4 important on dad's side. That's perfect. I wonder if the 4th of January is important as well, okay? Because they want me to acknowledge that with you. I do get this sense, Julie, that they kind of make me rub these beads or these crystals, which is a prompt to get me to talk about a lady that could do this work, whether that's you or that's someone back in the family, but certainly this sense that someone, and it's not just a general sense, someone must have been able to deliver messages or be able to see spirit. But this sense that someone had tea leaves and could read from tea leaves will be important as well. And Julie, they talked to me about the person that's getting a really severe headaches as well. Oh my goodness. Okay, they say to me they want to give healing to the person that suffers with the headaches and the migraines as well. Okay, and the name Mel is important as well. I've got to be honest with you, I don't think that's dad's side. I don't think that's mum's side. There's certainly this Mel connection that would be in spirit. Okay, but it feels like this male's name. It doesn't feel like a female's name, so it's not Melissa or Melanie, okay? It's this connection to this name, Mel, okay, for a male. Okay, and Julie, oh, wow, okay, so Julie, they're saying to me that obviously there's a cat on your picture, but there's a number of cats in spirit as well. They just put 7 in my head, so it would be that around that number. But Julie, would you understand about the cat that caught the bird? So the cat that got into the bird cage, or the cat that, got a bird? Because they talked to me about this memory link being important, and they write Penny Lane in my head, so I know that is a reference to a street that's nearby, or historical reference to a street, because they talked to me about that as well. And we gave the name George earlier, but that name certainly back in spirit is a significant name, okay? So that Mel name, it's wider connection. It feels like if I think about it, it's like a guy in his maybe 40s or 50s, but I don't think he's directly connected with a family. I don't think he's got a red face and he's got no hair, and he's kind of like a labourer type of guy. That would be the best way to place him. Okay, Julie, there's all these spiritual energies going on around you. Dad just said to me, I can finally put my feet up, and he kind of just put his legs up in this chair, this armchair, and I think mum is kind of sat near him as well. Really strong sense of pride going back in the family about the RAF or the army. There's certainly these medals that are passed down, okay? And Dad, I cannot emphasize enough just how much of a hard worker he was. Just absolutely incredibly hard working, okay? Julie, I'm going to leave their love with you. My message to you before I go is that they're wanting to make that connection with you. Why was that, sweet? Well, Mum just said, I don't think there's a message I was going to say, but I'll pop this in. Mum just said to me, she knows about the wedding. I don't think you know about this yet. So you watch for this announcement of this wedding in the family, because she's saying to me, tell them I've got the hat, okay? So that's fine. See, the other thing that she's saying to me as well is someone has recently had an MRI scan, or someone's due to go for one. She says that she knows and she's aware of that as well, and there'll be guidance supporting with that. So that's nothing to worry about. That's just a reference that they want me to mention there as well. And it's about being supportive to the family. There's this sense that you're either yourself or someone else is doing the family tree at this moment in time as well, because she's saying to me, the family's just like a tree and it just blossoms and just goes back and back and back. And such a huge family, okay? So Julie, I'm going to leave all their love with you. And thank you for taking that original gentleman as well. I really appreciate that. So we're just going to say God bless it. And Richard, if we can perhaps maybe go on to someone else, if that's all right, sir. Okay, thank you. So just for everyone, whilst we're just taking a quick 2 minutes, we are raising funds for Freya, who is only 14 years old, and bless her, she's been diagnosed with leukemia, and you can donate by the link below. So, you know, please, guys, if you can do any donations to that, would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So the other connection I wanted to just to make you aware of, guys, is there's a divine service with Wimbledon Spiritualist Church tomorrow. That's tomorrow morning from 11 a.m. Do you know who the medium is for that, Richard, please? I think. Oh, Dorothy Young. Dorothy Young, bless her. I have not met Dorothy, but I am well aware of her, and she's a lovely soul, and the credentials speak for themselves. So if you're able to link into that, guys, you know, please do as well. Okay, so we'll just continue if that's all right, guys, and we'll just continue to go through these messages. Okay. That's right. Okay, just perfect. We're going to go to the first person if that's okay. We're going to go to Linda Love if that's all right. Okay, Linda, thank you. Linda, I want to talk to you about growth and change and positivity and drive. Okay, so this isn't necessarily directly from spirit in the sense of a spirit person. We will bring that connection in. Linda, there's this sense about having to reinvent ourselves and about going in a new direction and feeling confident. Okay, so for me, this is always a reference to previous relationships that have been difficult and had a significant impact on us. Okay, so this is about moving forward and self-healing and self-love. So Linda, would you understand that, please, about this connection about moving forward from a previous relationship, whether that be just recently or that's a historical thing, but they talk about that. It's almost like as I see your face pop up, it's this sense in your aura that I can pick up on this energy around you, okay? And it's about having to be a fighter, having to be strong, and fighting not like as in with our fists, but in an emotional sense, okay? Because they talk to me about moving forward, and it's almost like I can feel myself scaling almost a mountain. So it's about that journey, okay? And they're saying to me, look at where you're at now, look at where you're at now, look at where you're at now. And they just keep saying that to me over and over again. I don't know, Linda, if you're going to be able to get, if you're planning to get a boxer or someone's planning to get this boxer dog, but it's certainly this young bouncy dog energy I can find around me as well, sweet, okay? So Linda, would you understand that about the relationship context, please, okay? Okay, that's fine. So sweet, this is really, really important for you, okay? They say to me our mood fluctuates, okay? So there's something either underlying there for us. So I'm not saying you have, but as examples, either we've got something like fibromyalgia, or we're having periods where we're really anxious and feeling quite low, because they're acknowledging those fluctuations still, but they're saying to me, we manage them and we deal with them so much more better. Okay, certainly this grandmother figure that's with us in spirit as well. So I want to bring in this lady from mum's side of the family. They, excuse me, they talked to me about the name Jean or Jeanette. I didn't quite catch it. I suspect it's probably Jean. It's either Jean or Jeanette that they want me to talk about. And they say to me, congratulations. Okay, they say to me, happy birthday. So someone's birthday is literally just today or yesterday that will connect to us, because they're saying to me, we need to talk about this happy birthday thing. Linda, they also talked to me about being being a mum as well. So I believe that you have children because they're talking to me about how amazing of a parent you are as well. Okay. They talk to me about Michael as well. And this name feels like it's something that would be spirits. This is the name of an individual that feels like they would be spirit side. So again, it's either a friend connection or it's certainly a sort of a contemporary figure that would be connecting with us. Okay. That's fine. And sweetie, like a number of people this evening. Okay. And they talk to me about crystals, which are important for you as well. So there's almost this sense that we have this ritual where we set our crystals out and we focus on these positive affirmations and we focus on the positive sense of ourselves. Okay. Linda, totally random, but we're going to go with this connection. So will you please just let me know if this makes sense about understanding this isn't something that's going to happen. This is something that has happened. Someone that crashed through a garden wall. So someone that it's almost like, I don't think you even know this person, but it's like I just see myself sat looking out my window and someone sort of crashes into, not injuring themselves. It's not a passing, but it's almost a sense that someone lost control and just went into a wall. And they're talking about that's recently gone on around us, or that's a memory in the family that we would be able to acknowledge. Okay. I also want to talk to you about children that are spirit side as well, Linda, because there's a sense that we have lost children through the process of miscarriage or termination because they want me to reference that connection with you. Okay, that's fine. And this sense of Reiki as well. So it's just this strong sense of like almost Reiki energy with you as well. So forgive me, I don't know if this is in spirit or if this is here, but there's certainly this horse that's kind of in my mind as well. So either you ride horses now or you've previously ridden, but there's this sense of these horse connection around us as well. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Your grandfather on mum's side steps forward. Symbolically, he just kind of puts a cardigan on to get me to think about that. He wants acknowledging as well. And he says, my hands work. Again, my hands work. And so for me, that's around arthritis, or that's around issues with his knuckles, because they'd want me to make that connection with you there as well. Okay, Linda, I was just going to step away from you, but we're going to just work a little bit longer with you. And just bear with me a moment, just have some water. And just try and make a connection with this chap, so just bear with me. Okay. I'm not sure if this chap is with you or not, because I had this connection a moment ago. But would you understand about a male who passed from an injury when he was out and about? So this feels like it feels like there's an injury to his head. I don't think he's family, so I think it's like a friend connection to us. But he tells me someone had hit him over the back of the head, or he was pushed and hit his head on the floor, because that's the type of energy that he's got, and it feels like some form of scuffle around him. Okay, that's fine. And there's something about, I don't know if it's New Market or New Newton, but there's this new, excuse me, this new sounding connection there that they want me to reference. Okay. And he feels like he's certainly not a family member, he feels like a friend connection to us, or that sort of link to us. But he talks about his passing, and he talks about that justice was served as well. So for me, this is something that's previously gone on, and they've been through the criminal court, they've been through the justice system as well. So they want me to acknowledge that connection there. Okay. 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 Okay, so apologies for Linda Loveridge. Come back to you in a moment. Will you let me know, Richard, if Linda can understand that? But would Linda Banham understand the connection with this male that's passed the spirit through this head injury, please? Isn't that interesting, guys? Just whilst we're working. Okay, so fab. So Linda can understand that connection with that. Still ongoing case. So Linda, that connection around that justice thing is, I think justice is going to be served with that. Got to be honest with you, he's a little bit of a rogue himself. He's a lovely individual, and I say he's a lovable rogue. And I am from the Grimsby area, so I am surrounded by lovable rogues. He is that sort of nature. Okay, very kind-hearted. Just went down the wrong path and just didn't have the best of luck and best of time. Okay. And he does try and make that connection with you. Okay, he's the type of spirit energy to move things, or to try and get your attention, or turn things on, not to frighten us, just to try and get your attention. Okay. there's something about him where there's this admiration to him as well, to you as well. So whether or not he had feelings for you or he would try and flirt with, but there's something about there's something about this deeper connection with this energy that he wants me to reference with you. Okay. So Linda, thank you ever so much for taking that. I really, really appreciate it. His message to you, he's safe. You know, that's what he wants to okay, and he says continues to do the good work. So I wonder if you work with drug users or you plan to do some work with drug substance misusers or alcoholic, because the way he says that, there's something about helping other people. And I wonder if that's the context he's making. It might be a different context, but we'll reference that. So Linda, I'll leave your love with you if that's okay. Just kind of say God bless. And Richard, I can't see that other lady's comments. Is she still understanding some of that? Oh, so Linda Bannon, we're going to just try and work with you if that's all right. So we just try and make that connection with you as well. Okay. I just want to explain this, just going back, guys. So just before we started making that link, someone in my head was shouting, murder, it's murder, it's murder. So that's where that all came in from. So that's fine. So Linda, we're just going to try and make a connection with you, straight. Okay. Linda, would you understand that this is either our son or someone's son that would connect to us? Because this feels like a reference to more of a closer figure with you, okay? And this one feels as well that they're not frustrated, but the sense I get is that I feel like this sense of the spirit present feeling frustrated that things haven't resolved or haven't gone the way they thought, and that there's still unanswered questions there, because he says it just didn't get sorted. It just didn't get sorted. So for me, that's either someone that got away with it or wasn't convicted, but there's this reference to that as well that they talked to me, or he talks to me about as well, okay? He says to me that anniversaries are important as well. So he talks about that being really important as well. And again, that's just gone in either the last week or the week prior. So there's this reference and the connection to that as well. Okay, sweet, that's fine. Linda, would you understand that there's dad in spirit for us as well? Because I feel the sensation of this other male that's stepping forward, that's almost trying to help this individual come through. So and just wait for your comments to pop up. So if you can confirm some of that for me, just let's have a very quick breather. Okay. That's fine, sweet. That's fine. Right, okay, so you understand that it's not been sorted. Thank you for confirming that. And I think that frustration is not necessarily from him, because it's more the frustration of the family members. It's more the frustration of the people that are involved with that. I do feel like there's either a case review that's going on, and I also feel like this sensation that so if that your dad and his dad, so it's brother to you, then it felt closer as I was making that link with it. And again, it's that flickering in my mind that gets me to think about them differently. So thank you, Spirit. Okay. I do feel like there's some kind of case review going on, or there's been some re-interest in it, not necessarily in the papers, but there's been some kind of review or some triggered review where we would look through and look at that. Okay. And he just says to me, I wasn't in pain. I wasn't in pain. They need to know I wasn't in pain. Okay. Bless him. There's something I don't want to talk too much about his passing, but certainly that head thing. But with this gentleman as well, there's something about his throat that would be significant with that as well. And he just said to me, there's a sense of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, but he kind of almost says, in fact, he talks about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. He acknowledges slightly that he didn't always have the best influences around him in the context of friends, but he doesn't use that as a justification for what went on. So he almost says it was wrong. So either that's a case that they got the wrong person, or it was mistaken. There's something where there was error on the person or the people that committed that, okay? And he's holding up what looks like a shirt from a football team or a cricket team, and he's almost saying that he had these other interests as well that he could have commented on as well. Okay, that's fine. The other thing I want to say to you as well, Linda, is that there's connections with this, not necessarily directly with this individual, but there's something about drugs or heroin that would surround that as well. So I'm not saying he was a heroin user, but there's certainly that connection of those sort of substances that would have been an influencing factor in what went on there. Okay, that's fine. Okay, he's just sworn in my head, not in a bad way, but just to say about it was about money. Like, I think it was about money from what he's saying to me. He's just shouted, someone's just said the name Jason to me as well. So I know that name is significant in that he likes the fountain, or he likes this idea of the water feature that is, I don't think is in memory of him, but I think there's something in memory of him next to that, because I can almost feel like that's how he connects with aspects of the family. Okay. His dad just said to me, we've had a tough time, haven't we, kiddo? So he's talking about what's gone on in the family, okay? And he says, people judge, but they don't know the story. People judge, but they don't know the story, okay? So, Linda, there's also a Alsatian spirit as well. Sorry, I had a dog lick my face. There's Alsatian in spirit as well. So, Linda, I'm going to leave their love with you, if that's okay. I need you to know this chap is safe. I need you to know your dad is safe as well, okay? And I guess their message to you is that they recognize how hard it is to get closure when that situation hasn't been closed, but they say it's so important to move on, okay? It's so important to continue to live your life, and it's okay for you to move on. They recognize that that you would not forget him as well, okay? He says to me he's going to bring you the biggest feather you can believe, okay? And your daddy just kind of puts his arm on my shoulder, and he's just kind of like just saying, we need to be strong, okay? So, sweet, I am going to leave their love with you, and I'm going to say God bless to you. Okay. So, Richard, if we can just bring some more comments up, please, if that's okay. Okay. Hopefully you're enjoying this evening, guys, and it's been a genuine pleasure so far. Okay. Okay. I think we'll go to Rowena Putt, if that's okay. Hi, sweet. Hopefully you're okay. We're going to just make a connection with you, if that's all right. I've got this grandmother figure that's stepping forward, and she kind of just put her arm on your shoulder, and she took a breath, just went, oh, well, what have we got going on here? For me, that's about changes that are going on around us. So someone's sorting things out. So whether that be that someone's just moved into a new house and they're unpacking, or we're going through things and changing things, but she's almost scratched her head and said, oh, it just won't stop at the moment, will it? So we have a cuppa. So she's talking about that reference with you, okay? So she acknowledges it's either you or someone else in the family that she wants me to talk about, either moving or unpacking things or decorating, but there's these changes going on around us that she wants me to reference. I didn't quite catch his name, so I don't know if it was Robert or Roger, but that name is important. And certainly someone had an interest in birds of prey, or certainly that, or sort of even like maybe parrots and things like that, because they want me to reference that connection there as well. Right, okay, that's fine, sweetie. Who else are we going to bring in? Rowena, Rowena, you'd understand that there's a father figure in spirit for us as well. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. And you would have to make and understand the connection to some links to South Africa somehow, because there has to be this reference to South Africa. Okay, that's fine. How that links in, I don't think that's someone here now. I wonder if that's like a memory that someone would have travelled there going back. So with that, it doesn't feel war related, but there's certainly these links to that area. Okay, and there's an interest in and you're going to be moving. Okay, that's fine. So she knows about that one. That's perfect. Okay, she says to me, it's nice to be on top of our money as well. So she talks about the acknowledging how much money you've been saving as well, and just all that effort put into that. Okay, that's fine. So Rona, the one to talk to me about this fatherly figure in spirit, I don't believe it grandfather, I believe it to be dad. Okay, and he's kind of saying to me as well that either he accessed day services where he goes spend time with people, or he was in a retirement home of some form, because he talks about that connection of other people being around him as well. Okay, so that's a memory link for him. When he says to me, chin up, sweet, chin up. So he talks about knowing that we're feeling a little bit overwhelmed at the minute, and we're just kind of having to take day by day. Okay, so he wants me to make that reference to you in that context. Okay, that's fine. I also need you to know that there's some plans for someone's name to be written in the stars. So they want me to acknowledge that reference and that connection with you as well. That's absolutely fine. Okay. Perfect. And Rowena, they talked to me about the name Margaret being significant as well. Your dad says to me, can I have my watch? I don't know what time it is. So there's something about Dad's watch being passed down as well, okay? I think he's quite fond of that watch, bless him. Okay. His dad was such a, I'm going to say popular man, and I'm going to change that because he was a well-liked gentleman, but it's more how he would engage with other people. So it's about him taking an interest in others and listening to their life stories and being able to communicate with them. And he's thankful that someone was able to be with him when he passed as well. So I feel like there's someone that stood with him. That for me, that is always that connection to either being in a hospital or in the nursing home, but there's that reference there as well. Do you know, interestingly, Rana, you've confirmed that he was in a home. Quite often, family members will say to me that they understand why family made that decision. He doesn't. He feels really settled when he was there. And so for me, I wonder if he felt isolated in the community, not through any fault of the families, but just due to the nature of how unwell, how frail he'd become. And it's almost like he got there, and it's almost like he got a little bit of life back in him, and he just felt a bit more positive in nature, okay? And we mentioned about headaches before, someone else, but certainly for yourself at the minute, it's headaches. Social services. Who works in social services, Rowena? He knows about the connection with social services. Thank you, sir. Okay. And he's showing me money that's Welsh as well. So either you've been given a Welsh note today or in the last days, or there's a Welsh connection somehow in the family as well. It's his dad, I believe, that probably went traveling or probably spent time in South Africa, because that seems important somehow as well. That's fine, sir. And I would say the name Arnold, and for me, that is perhaps a middle name or a last name. I tell you what, it's interesting that they've said it makes me feel like it's a middle name. Okay. Rono, do you understand the connection with someone like Arnold Platt as a last name, please, sweet? Because that, yeah, would you understand that? Because the reference that as well being an important connection, okay? Grandmother said to me, don't forget to mention that she caught a finger the other day, and we know about that as well. It's almost that, just, you know, you kind of got lots going on, and then you almost catch your finger, oh, what else could go wrong? And it's that sense as well. So they know that we feel a bit overwhelmed at the minute and kind of feeling a little bit stressed. And I assume that's just because of the movement and other things going on, okay? And it's almost, she knows about someone that's planning to go for this job interview as well. So for me, this is a younger male or a son, that's kind of connection as well, okay? So Rowena, my message to you is that spirit, no, we're feeling stressed at the minute and we're feeling overwhelmed, and you can understand the social work connection there, fantastic. And they're around you consistently, okay? So sweet, I'm going to leave your dad's love with you and your grandmother's love with you, and I'm just going to say God bless. So Richard, if we can please go on to the next one, if that's all right, sir. Okay, thank you. Guys, just whilst we're waiting to make that connection, thank you ever so much so far for watching. We've got a Facebook page, it's called Medium Joe, it's all one word. So it'd be interesting to see, you know, people follow my page and stuff, and I do loads of different things as well. Okay. Okay, so who are we going to make a connection with? And thank you everyone for watching. Shauna Doyle, can we try and work with Shauna Doyle, please? Okay. Shauna, we're going to try and make this connection with yourself, sweet. Okay, I'm smiling because your family are really full of characters. I'm going to try and make this connection with you, okay? Again, a number of individuals in spirit for you. We're going to talk about this grandfather figure on dad's side of the family first. We'll bring him through and we'll focus on everyone else coming through as well, because there's a number of them coming through, but quite a lively characters. So we've got this grandfather figure. We've also got, in fact, we're going to focus on males. So I've got this grandfather figure. I've also got this other figure who I'm not sure is your uncle or dad, and I'll work that out in a moment. But sweet Shauna, would you understand about this male that would be contemporary towards that spirit side, please? So again, either partner or friend or brother. It's probably more friend, partner or brother connection or cousin connection. There's a sense about this male that should be around us, okay, that they want me to acknowledge. Maybe some, don't think it is some, but there's certainly this younger male that's around us, and he's a bit like Tigger, because he's almost bouncing in my mind. His energy is so like full. He's so eager to come through. Bless him, he's trying to play fight with me as well. So he's kind of doing that, he's trying to make that connection with me. So we'll just check with that male first. So would you understand this younger male connection that would be in spirit, please, sweet? Okay. Honestly, it's like I've had about 10 coffees. I'm just so full of beans as I'm making that connection with him. Okay. And the other thing I want to say to you as well is that there has to be this uncle figure. I think we mentioned that a moment ago, but there has to be that connection there. So Shauna, it's these three males that I want to make a reference and connection to, please, sweet. I want to talk about the name Mike. Don't think that's significant to them. I think that's some other context that they would want me to talk about. And they draw on my wrist. So symbolically, this is normally where they draw on me. So it could be anywhere on my body. But they talked to me about this connection with this tattoo that we would have in memory of someone as well. Okay, so sweet, that's your cousin. Honestly, as he comes through, he's kind of like trying to, like I said a moment ago, like trying to fight with me, but not in a bad way. Like he's just energy. He's just so playful. He's trying to wind me up. He's trying to tease me. He's just trying to make that sense. Okay. He says to me that you're like the mum figure in the family. You're the one that sorts everyone out. You're the one that does everything. Okay. And that's fine. He mentioned the names Stacy as well. So he talks about that name being important as well. Okay. Because he wants me to acknowledge that. So it's all these, and I think this is why this chap's kind of coming through doing that, because these male connections around us, it's just really sort of like these male energies, and they're all trying to get through and have a chat with you. There's certainly a male that lost part of his finger as well, and that's either an uncle or I suspect more grandfather figure. But I wonder if that's what the family's like, quite loud, quite boisterous, quite strong-minded, quite independent, would kind of butt heads, but we all love each other because there's this energy and this sense around us. Okay, that's fine. We're going to bring that through. So they also say to me as well, I need to talk about the male that made the decision to transition to spirit himself. Okay, so for me, that's an individual blessing that made the decision to take his own life. Okay, so they want me to acknowledge that reference there. Who that chap is, I don't think it's your cousin. I don't think it's an uncle. I think it's another male that connects around us. Okay, because they talk about this younger male that made a decision. Bless him. That's fine. And I need you to know he's safe as well. Okay, fine. Okay, Shauna, just slow down a moment, sweet. And this would be the reason why this energy feels so strong. It's almost like, as we link with your energy, that's what your energy is like. It's so strong, so powerful, character in nature as well. We mentioned the name Stacey earlier, and I'm going to change that. I'm going to go back to what they told me. There's something about someone being compared to Cat Slater, or there's a joke about that from EastEnders. So I think that's like Cat, that dated Courted Alfie. But I think that's what, but it's not in a negative sense, it's a jestful sense. Okay, Shauna, as we try and break through those different energies and those different layers, there feels like there's a father figure for us in spirit as well. So would you understand that father connection for us as well in spirits? That would be 4 different males that they want me to acknowledge. Well, we've got granddad, we've got uncle, we've got this father figure, we've got this cousin figure, and then we've got this younger male that's different. He's either connected to in-laws or connected around in a different sense. Okay, so they want me to acknowledge that around you as well. There's also about this male's ring that we would have that's passed down in the family as well, and it's almost pulled off. So it's like this wedding ring, but this chap who I believe to be dad has got huge hands, just really big hands. So they want me to make that reference and connection there as well. Okay, whew, that's fine. This isn't going to happen. This is something that has happened, sweet. They've been with the lady that's had to be who's gone for a check recently on their chest area as well, and as a routine check. They know about that. That's not going to happen. That's happened. So they know about that reference and connection there as well. I'm smiling because someone's just said to me, Doug, so you've mentioned about your father-in-law. I wonder if that side, that name's important on that side. Or Dougal, this Doug or Dougal, because they want me to make that reference, that connection with that name as well. Okay, that's fine. So there's so many male energies around you. And I think for me, the family feels such a party family, such a lively family. And that's the energy that they want to bring through, in the sense that you have that sense around you as well. Just such a strong, positive family energy. It just, for me, families argue, but when we need to stick together, we stick together. And I think that's kind of the message that they're saying to me. So Shauna, I'm going to leave their love with you, if that's okay. And I'm just going to say, God bless. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So guys, I understand that is me done. So hopefully you've enjoyed this evening. Thank you ever so much for having me along. Please feel free to check out my page. Thank you to Richard and to Spiritual Psychic TV for having me on. God bless, stay safe, and have a wonderful evening and good night.